we all in?
We're live here, kind of good.
I mean, are we all in the chat?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Okay, so we have Facebook Live, we have Twitter Live, we have Periscope Live. We're live simulcasting across all three at the same time.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, Lance, take out the rest of your cam. Lance walks around with 7 phones at any given...
How do you know which one is which?
They have different...
He's crazy smart.
I'm not just crazy.
Do they all have different ringers? So, like, if one's ringing...
No, I only use one of them as a phone. The rest of them are used as
like
cameras. Cameras and storage, like...
He runs the whole... His whole business is right on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a couple of... No, gosh, I guess this was last year. Last year, I was working on a story for Dr. Oz, and I got sent down to this lab in right outside Washington D.C. And the piece was about whether metabolism actually is what affects your weight, and not anything else. And so we did this test, and I was to fast for 24 hours, then go down. And
Wait,
then,
you got to tell them the other part of the story.
What was the other part again?
You got stuck in the snowstorm on the plane.
Wait, that was when
Marnie.
Marnie.
That was the second time.
That's
What
not
was
with
the first
Dr.
time?
Oz.
You were fast. Oh, that was Marnie.
Right.
Who was faster?
Yes, exactly.
I was getting it confused.
You got that confused.
No, but we put her through like 3 different tests.
When I was fasting, let's just pause for crime.
Anyway, sorry.
New York City, so
Neither here nor there.
with the sirens, they love their crime here. Anyway, so I got down there. I did this test, and then I was able to eat all these vegetables. And then they did this test again, and what they determined was that you can actually, I don't like to use the word manipulate, but you can speed up your metabolism with certain foods that you eat, and you can lose weight. So I fell in love with these 2 guys that worked there, and I was like, I want to know more. We filed the story for Dr. Oz. It was wildly successful, and then I came back down, and I just wanted to learn as much as I could about you. And these guys, this is Todd Miller and Stephanie Mull. They have their own Facebook Live show on Mondays. At what time?
12 o'clock.
At 12 o'clock, where they basically take a very simple question, and they'll spend like an entire hour. So you can ask them a million questions. They're so thorough and so good. So if you guys have any questions about weight loss, literally at all, or lifting or anything, like, Lance will interrupt. Lance, go. I'm giving you green light permission to interrupt today. Usually,
wow, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you're saying that.
I know. Usually,
Can I say the name of the page?
Yeah, everything. You can even go live now.
Just search.
No. Tell me.
The name of the page is The Miller Method.
The Miller Method, on Mondays at 12.
Right.
Okay, so explain to me a little bit more layman terms, even though you can't get any more lay than what I just explained, what it is that you guys do at your lab. I keep calling it a lab because it sounds
So
fancy.
what we do is, we use very high-tech methods of measuring body fat and then metabolism, and we use that information to build sort of a meal and eating strategy specifically tailored to your metabolism.
So you're not going to give everybody the same
Nobody
meal
gets the same thing.
No, because we don't like weight loss. We like fat loss. So that's why we measure the metabolism, we measure the body composition to design a nutrition plan and even a training program designed for each individual person that we're working with to optimize their body.
Right. And the goal of that plan is to increase muscle and lose fat simultaneously. Or at the very least, lose fat and prevent any loss of muscle.
Right.
Why is it so important not to lose muscle?
Well, muscle is the engine that basically drives metabolism. So just
that's what
sitting,
consumes calories.
Yeah, 70% of your calorie burn throughout the day is just you sitting around doing nothing. Right. So the more muscle that you have,
and the more you're using it,
the greater the amount of calorie burn through in any given time period.
So you do a lot of, which I love. Like, I think there's a lot of confusion out there about what you're supposed to target to lose fat. Burn fat, lose weight, whatever it is. No, there is a lot.
You're
of
right. You're right.
Yeah,
some people are saying no carbs.
Right.
Some people say like
eat high fat.
Eat high fat. Some people say no fat at all. Some people say high calories, low calories, no sugar, sugar.
Right.
Well, I mean, is there an answer, or is this a matter of opinion?
Well, a lot of it is opinion, but if you look at the actual published research, that when calories are held the same, if you eat a high fat diet or a high carb diet, the weight loss is identical if the calories are held the same and if the activity is held the same. So, it doesn't really. A lot of times people will say, well, high fat diets, you lose more weight on a high fat diet because it works better. But really, all you do is you end up eating less on a high fat because you cut out carbs. If you cut out a whole food source, you're going to eat less, and as a result, you eat fewer calories and you lose weight.
So you have no problem keeping carbs in your diet.
No,
No.
I think I eat 300 grams of carbs a day, something like that.
Carbs, so one of the ways to help preserve muscle mass or grow muscle while eating in a calorie deficit is strength training. And that's the primary form of exercise that we recommend. And to perform strength training to the best of your ability, you need carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is the only nutrient to fuel that activity.
And what
Somebody's
kind
going
of
to argue about that.
Someone's going to argue, but
Excuse me.
bless you.
Thank
But
you.
that's okay.
It's what's available in those short, powerful bursts of energy movements.
So obviously you're not talking about like a cookie and then like
Yeah,
a
we
piece
are.
of white bread with peanut butter on it.
That's
You
not
are?
what we're suggesting people eat. We like fiber-containing carbohydrates, whole grains, whole wheat, fruits, beans, lentils. But we have a really big philosophy that we're human and we like food.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has their vice.
Yeah. And if
You
you're,
have a vice.
I have tons of vices.
Right. We
Yeah.
have our vices.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, most people really, really like food. And if you go into any nutrition plan saying, I'm never going to have a cookie again because
You're
that
gonna
doesn't
fail.
fit my plan, you're going to fail. And you're going to fail hard.
Right.
Right.
So we believe in making it work, making it fit. No, we don't want you necessarily making all of your carbohydrate from cookies.
No. But if you eat a cookie
That's
a
not
day,
going to
so
optimize
what?
health. But to work a cookie
Yeah.
into your plan, if it's controlled for the calories you're monitoring it, it's absolutely doable.
And that's what our whole our whole approach says. You know, if a person can have 200 grams of carbohydrate a day,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ideally from a nutrition standpoint, we don't want them getting that from cookies and pixie sticks.
Right.
But
Pixie
Pixie
sticks.
sticks.
yeah, I don't know.
Hi,
Where'd that come
1979
from?
call.
Is
They
it-
want their candy back.
You knew what it was.
We did, but where's
I was born in
that
74.
from?
Alright. So
Pixie sticks.
you know, if you it's sugar, it's
Yeah.
powdered sugar. So if you
It's
eat
really
those
fun.
things and you stay under that carb goal, it's not going to affect your progress. It's not going to affect your weight.
No, and I don't want, people are going to interpret this, I think, as saying, oh my God, they're saying I should only eat carbohydrate.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Or they'll say, "Oh, you just gave everybody permission to eat pixie sticks." All right.
There is a time and a place for simple sugar. We can get to that if we want, but
There is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Post-workout.
Lance's ears just
Post-workout.
went, psh.
Post workout.
you want to
Oh,
burn
wow,
out some
yeah,
work.
workout.
So
Now,
post-workout includes what, Lance?
is golfing
The workout.
considered a workout?
Are you carrying your own golf bag?
A lot of times, yes.
And how much walking are you doing?
Like 7 to 9 miles.
Miles? You're not doing 7 to 9 miles.
I'll give you a little bit.
7 to 9 miles. A golf course is
You
not
have a
7
big
to 9
stick.
miles.
You can have a bag of Skittles.
You can
No.
How?
There's
How
no
much?
way.
How much?
He's not.
7 to 9
No,
miles?
it's not 7 to 9
18
miles.
holes?
No, it's not.
Is it 9 holes?
18
It's got to be
holes.
118
18
holes if you're doing 9 miles
18
of walking
holes
with your
mileage.
bag.
He's Googling.
He's Googling
Of course he
it.
is.
I don't
Googles
know. Does
everything.
anybody know? Let's watch.
John must know.
Anyway,
A golf course average is about 6,500 yards, but I actually play from the tip, so I have a further walk.
What, the
How
tip
many
of what?
yards?
Long Island?
No, you play from the I play from the championship. I play the.
Yeah, that's like an
Blacks.
extra how many yards? 20? 5
It's an
yards?
extra hole. It's actually an extra hole. It's an extra
Okay.
500 yards.
You're having a serious conversation with me, and I'm having a jokey conversation with you, and that's why one of us is going to get hurt. Someone's going to hurt their feelings. All right, we'll move on from that. You keep looking at that. Okay,
He
go
I
on.
result in about
justify
8
his
miles of
60
walking
sticks.
for 18 holes
8 miles.
there you go.
while pushing my 3-wheel golf cart.
Pushing.
Oh,
That's
you're pushing your
that's
wheel.
what this person is. They're
Oh.
doing it. I carry my bag.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So if I go 8 miles and I carry my bag, I can
Do you
take.
do that every day?
I can't do it every day now because I'm on the Jenna Wolf show every day.
Right,
but
you are.
I used to do
Priorities,
it every day.
Lance.
You
You're
got,
definitely burning off a bag of Skittles doing
Yeah,
that.
you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why would you want to
I
finish
had-
off
I
and
have
have
the-
a bag of Skittles? Then it
That's
balances
actually
it all
we were
out.
discussing this before. That's what I used to do.
That's
I
a
would have
common issue.
I would have my M&Ms,
Right.
and then I would have my ice cream.
And you're not going to do it anymore.
Right. I cut out the M&Ms on this
We
diet.
just did it. We just finished this 30 days of a single ingredient diet.
No sugar.
With no processed sugar, no grains, no legumes, no dairy, no alcohol. For
Uh-huh.
30
And
days.
how did that work?
I mean, I'll show you a picture I took this morning. It looked amazing. I mean, it worked out great. There's nothing processed in my body. Everything is just real whole food.
Okay.
Nothing processed. No processed sugar at all in any kind of coffee, no desserts.
So there's an example where you probably over that 30 days ate fewer calories.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It maybe naturally bumped up the
Right.
protein.
So it's the trap is to say, well, processed foods make you fat.
No, I didn't say processed.
No, I know
foods
you
make
didn't.
No.
I know you didn't.
But it
But
can be
that's the
interpreted that way.
conclusion that people will jump to.
Right.
If you say, I eliminated all processed foods and I lost weight,
Yeah.
they will come to the conclusion say processed foods make you gain weight.
So what makes you gain
The
weight?
calories that you ate more calories. You ate
right.
fewer calories over that 30 days because you eliminated certain food
Well,
groups.
and be clear, what type of weight gain are we talking about?
Right, is it muscle,
Is it
water,
muscle or is it fat?
We don't know.
Right.
That's what
You
we
have
were
to measure
targeting.
body composition.
And that's what I was telling you guys
Right.
about. I was explaining what the
Right.
DEXA machine was.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I have those outputs.
Yeah, we-
One second,
Yeah,
we have
but-
a. We're still on the golf course conversation over here. You
Okay.
said I can interrupt.
Okay, but I'd like to keep it on topic. But okay, go ahead.
Okay, John, that's 4 miles straight. Nobody hits the ball straight. You walk to your ball. You go. I'm pretty decent. I don't hit the ball straight. I hit it all over the place. I go from side to side.
Lord knows I don't do anything straight. So then we know we
Right.
both of us are.
I'm sorry. I won't interrupt.
No, feel free to. I'm trying to keep on par with the.
I know. I'm just trying to get the show back, the audience back into the.
back into the mix.
Okay.
It's just that I wanted you guys on because there's such misconception about how you lose weight. There's no a single answer, and it dumbfounds me that we've been at this for 70 years, and there's no simple answer to how to lose weight.
Well,
Why is it so complicated?
there's a lot of data coming out that the more you diet, the harder it is
Right.
to get weight off. Like we have people that we work with that have been dieting for 30 years.
Yeah, they have trouble.
And they have a hard time because you're creating this internal environment that just makes your body resistant to fat loss.
Yeah.
Because
Your
it wants to hold
metabolism
on.
defends itself
Right.
almost. It slows
Body
down.
starts to right.
It gets very unpredictable.
So that's why we're trying to move away from diet mentalities,
Right.
And into what?
embracing a balanced lifestyle.
Well, what does that look like? So for people that don't understand what that means.
Well, most people, you have to have some idea. People, again, will argue about this, but ultimately it boils down to calorie intake.
It really
right?
does.
If you eat too many calories, you're going to lose weight. You're going to get fat. It doesn't matter what you do. So the problem is people don't know how many calories they can get away with eating.
Right.
They have no idea how many calories are in their food,
Right.
and they grossly overestimate the amount of calories that they burn during exercise.
Right.
So those three things together make it virtually impossible to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit without losing muscle, and thereby slowing down the metabolism
Right.
further. So we
Right.
we measure this, so we can say, look, you can eat 1,800 calories a day on average. You can eat this. This is how much protein
That
you need.
specific person.
That's specific for that person because we measure their metabolism and we know what their muscle mass is, and we base their protein intake on their muscle mass and their calorie intake on their measured metabolism.
Then they have no
No,
there's
it-
nothing else they can do but
there's
lose weight
right,
if
right.
they're exactly
That's right.
sticking to
That's
those
exactly
numbers.
right.
And
Exactly right.
what do you do when a client walks in? Like how do you get those numbers for someone like that?
So the first thing we do is a DEXA scan, which is the DEXA is a gold standard for body fat measurements. A lot of people, you may have had them. It's for measuring bone density. That's what it was originally designed for. You lie on a table, it scans you, and it gives us your body fat. So, it's knowing your body fat. It tells us basically what your baseline is, but it also tells us your muscle mass. We determine how much protein you need based on that muscle mass. Then we measure your metabolism. So you sit in a chair, you put a mask on for about 15 minutes. We measure how much oxygen the body consumes, and that tells us how many calories you burn. So based on that, and let's say somebody has a thyroid problem that's undiagnosed and their metabolism is 30% lower than predicted, that person's never going to lose any weight until they fix that.
Right.
So we would be able to catch those kinds of things,
Right.
whereas, a lot of people just are kind of shooting in the dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's true for any online calculator. That's
Yeah,
why we
online
encourage
calculators,
measuring
right.
metabolism, because if you go and just put your information into a calculator, an equation, right, to figure out how many calories you need, if your metabolism is slow, maybe you have low muscle mass, maybe you're not using your muscle mass, maybe you have a thyroid issue, you're going to end up overfeeding yourself, and you're never going to get anywhere.
Right.
Maybe your metabolism is fast, which we have a lot of people that are,
If you're training,
if you're training.
probably.
And then you're going to end up underfeeding yourself, which sets up a diet environment in the body,
Right.
which will ultimately put you in conservation mode for fat.
and you'll lose muscle.
And you'll
and
lose
your
muscle.
and your metabolism will
And then you
fall.
shoot the right.
Oh, it's why
It's-
it's
it's
so
a- it's-
complicated.
It
It's-
is,
it's-
but it
It's
doesn't have to
complicated,
be.
but it doesn't have to
It
be.
doesn't
Right.
have to
There are
be.
places all over the country
Right.
you'll get this stuff measured. It's just nobody knows it.
Right.
Nobody knows about it.
right,
And second, you go there and they don't even know what to do once they have the data.
right.
You know, most trainers, most nutritionists, dietitians,
They don't know
you
how
give
to
them a
interpret it.
DEXA and a metabolism test, they don't know what to do with
Okay,
it.
they need to come to you.
Well,
Yes.
they need to come to us or somebody
anybody,
else who uses that
anybody
information.
can use it.
Right.
Okay, so now you have the food set up, and now what you also do with people is put them on a workout program. Like you need to have both components of it.
Well, you don't absolutely have to. If the diet is dialed in,
Diet's more
people
important.
will. It's more important. People will lose fat and maintain or even gain muscle.
And can correct a slow
yeah.
metabolism.
Right. Yeah, and some people will say, well, you can't gain muscle if you're not training. But you can gain fat-free mass without training. If your protein is too low to begin with, if you're sedentary to begin with,
Well, how-
you can just feed somebody more protein and they will put on fat-free mass. We see people do it all the time.
How much protein should we eat?
A lot more than you think.
Yeah, a lot more. The RDA, I think, is 0.8
0.8 grams
grams
per kilo,
body weight.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
I know. So it's low. It's essentially if you're eating,
I think
it's
the
like
government-
10% or 12% of your calories.
Yeah.
Still don't know what that means.
All right.
How many grams of protein should I eat?
50 to 70.
To 70
That's not what
for
you
a
need.
woman to a
That's
man.
what the
That's what the
RDA
RDA. And the RDA is just, it's like a minimum for health, to protect
Right.
your health.
Right.
It doesn't factor in training. It doesn't factor
Yeah,
in
yeah.
muscle mass. It doesn't factor any of that stuff in.
It's a horrible number.
I
It's
We
work
don't
at-
even need to worry about
Yeah,
that.
we don't use it because it's ridiculously
No.
low. So we give 1.4 grams per pound of fat-free mass, which I'm sure you don't want to know what that means in a practical
Just
sense.
give me a sense.
So
of
for
it.
you would probably need
It's
what,
like
130,
30.
140?
Grams of
I'm looking
protein?
at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have not had enough today then. I had half of a turkey burger, 3 little pieces of shrimp.
No,
That's all I've
that's
eaten
like
today. And a teaspoon
30
of
grams.
That's a
peanut butter.
snack.
That's a snack. Yeah.
Well, how am I going to get the rest of my protein in tonight?
So here's the thing. So you asked earlier about balance. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Have
Well,
chicken
that's-
for dessert, like I did last time.
Chicken
I'm
for
going to be at that
dessert.
event tonight. I can't eat at this thing.
Ah.
Hosting something tonight.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, so we like to encourage meal balance. So every time you go to have a meal, you should be getting a third or so of your plate from lean protein, roughly, again, depending on your needs. A third of vegetables, some kind of like nutrient booster type of food that doesn't have a lot of calories to it.
Right.
And then some kind of fiber containing carbohydrate should be the rest. That's balance. You're working in all the food groups.
And people will say, oh, you forgot fat. There's plenty
We're
of
not
fat
trying
in
to
your
add
food.
fat to
You
our
don't really
food.
need to add fat. People will say, one of the biggest problems we have with clients is they say, oh, I'm eating healthy, and they've rattled off a bunch of heart healthy fats, avocados, almonds, coconut oil,
Chia seeds.
Those are sort of the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And-
Avocado especially.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those they
Nuts.
can't lose fat because they're eating so much dietary fat that their
Right.
caloric intake is just too high.
It's too high, and plus you're giving your body an energy source as fat.
If you're
Okay.
trying to lose body fat, why would you eat
Why
fat?
would you eat fat? If you want to burn off your own body fat, it makes sense logically if you think about it. Well, let me cut back on my dietary fat to allow my body to burn off its own fat stores.
Now, there are a lot of people that will argue with that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, from
But-
our experience, we have hundreds of clients from all over the country. The
It
ones
doesn't work.
who are eating high-fat diets wouldn't be seeing us if it was working.
Right.
And
Right.
when they cut the fat out of their diet and go down 20% of
Right.
their calories from fat, they start losing weight.
But doesn't your body break down carbs before fat? Sugar before fat?
What do you need before? I mean, if
Like
you eat
in the gut?
Yeah, like if you eat, pasta and a meatball, your body's not going to, pasta and avocado or something, your body's not going to get to that avocado till it tries to break down all the pasta first, right?
I would say-
digestion is happening simultaneously. I mean, there's
Yeah.
different enzymes and things that are found in your stomach all the way through your small intestine.
So what is the argument for taking carbs out of your diet?
I don't know.
We don't know.
What is I know you don't believe
Oh,
it.
the argument is that-
it leads to weight
The
loss.
argument is that carbs cause an insulin
Insulin
spike,
spike.
and insulin's a
Mhm.
hormone that promotes fat storage.
Right.
Right.
So
but,
removing it.
But if you're in a calorie deficit, it doesn't matter.
doesn't
You're still
matter.
going to lose weight.
Right.
So even if I'm in a calorie deficit, if I'm just eating pasta all day,
Yes.
I'm still eating less calories.
If you
Technically,
if
yes.
you were in a calorie deficit and you drank Coca-Cola all day and ate nothing else, which is
Yeah.
pure glucose, pure
Yeah.
sucrose, sugar,
Yeah.
you would lose weight.
Look at the
You
Twinkie
lose
diet
fat.
guy.
So
Who is that,
all
the Harvard
calories are
professor?
the same. It's calories in, calories out,
No.
and that's the
No.
general
No.
sense. Nope,
No.
nope, I'm
No.
wrong.
No.
Nope.
I actually
got
one
that
time
wrong.
was on a Krispy Kreme diet. I lost weight on.
Who
You
is?
did?
I did. I did a
You
Krispy
did?
Kreme diet.
How did that work?
I had a Krispy Kreme for breakfast,
Uh huh.
and I had pretzels,
Uh huh.
and then I had a Krispy Kreme for lunch,
Huh?
and then I had pretzels,
Uh-huh.
and then I had my regular dinner, and I lost like 20 pounds.
And why did you do that?
Because I wanted to not have a sweet tooth during the day. So like I found, and the Krispy Kreme only was like, a donut was only 200 calories.
You're bringing up a really good point because so many people will try to be good
Yeah.
morning, afternoon, and then 4 p.m. hits, they're crashing, they're tired, they're
Yeah.
hungry, and then they start eating
Right.
and they're craving sugar because they haven't given themselves enough carbohydrate through the day to fuel their body. Food is
Right.
fuel,
Right.
right? And carbohydrate is a primary fuel source. We're not saying go eat a ton of carbohydrate through the day. It needs to be portioned appropriately to fit your calorie needs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think part
You
of the
need
problem culturally with carbohydrate is you look at breakfast foods, it's almost always
It's all
carbohydrate.
carbs.
There's
Yeah.
so much carbohydrate in the diet
Right.
that people tend to eat that and in place of protein and fresh vegetables and things like that. So
Right.
again, carbs appear to be bad,
Easy,
but
right.
it's really the absence of everything else that's bad. So protein, for example, if you just increase your protein intake, it'll increase your metabolic rate and you'll burn more calories
Right.
just by adding more
protein.
protein and making no other changes.
Right.
Right. And if that burns enough extra calories to put you in a deficit, then you're going to lose weight.
What?
No,
are
it's
you
just
struggling
I'm
with?
stressed right now. Honestly, I'm stressed that I didn't eat enough today. I worked out so hard this morning. I had all but 10 minutes to shove half a turkey burger, 4 little pieces of shrimp, and some grapes
You need
and,
some
and a
carbs.
whole red
And
pepper.
that's a problem because muscle
First thing in the morning.
Muscle is very metabolically expensive. It
Yep.
needs a lot of energy, and
Yep.
when you break muscle down during a workout,
Right.
it has to rebuild.
It
and,
has to
I know.
repair.
and if it needs
Carbohydrate
protein,
and
it
protein
needs
do
protein
that.
and
I know.
carbohydrate.
Right.
If you don't eat protein,
Right.
it breaks down itself and
Right.
uses its own amino acid pool
Right.
to try and build itself.
That's
back
why
up.
I'm stressed out. I think I'm breaking down
Can we
myself
get you
right
some
now.
Yeah.
food? I have an apple in my bag.
That's not enough. I need the carbs. You're telling me.
That's carbs.
That's
It's
not.
not.
I need protein. I mean,
And
She
carbs.
needs both.
You need both.
I
yeah.
We're
had
not allowed carbs, I thought.
not this month, but I do need
This
carbs.
month.
You need to eat something, Lance. Like enough. Like you need to get some energy going. A little bit. It's very hard to carry this whole show when you're over there half asleep. I need something back from you.
What a half asleep. I'm just dying because I can't eat.
But you can eat. No one told you to
Who's
do
like,
it.
let's take our producer and not feed him for a month. We're starting a new show. Let's not feed the producer for a month.
That's why I had to bring another producer on to produce the show.
And he can't be happy, so no drinking.
There's no drinking.
Toasting with water.
I know that was
That's
hard.
what you need here. Some
You
booze.
need some alcohol.
Not this month. We've had alcohol on the show.
Oh, all right.
We had some.
You've got a nice little setup right
yeah, I
there.
mean, everything lends itself towards having a little alcohol.
Absolutely.
So, just so I'm clear, I can probably have a little serving of pasta at night, or a potato, or
You should be having.
define little. I caught that.
Well, she's like
But
that.
she's going like this.
listen,
What does
you
that
can
mean?
have a
Little.
little piece of well, what can I mean,
So my baked potatoes were good. Like I was
yeah,
having,
your
I
baked
was,
potatoes were good.
I had
Great.
What did you put on it?
It's not allowed to put anything.
I don't
but
put
olive
anything.
oil.
Oh, okay, then that's cool. That's good.
I don't even put olive oil. I just put them on the George Foreman grill, and
Okay.
I make potato chips.
Between your Pixie Sticks and your George Foreman grill, the two of you guys should go into some sort of time machine and come out when
Jenna,
it's
I'm in a time
2016.
machine. It's called being in our 50s.
Oh, Lord.
You can still buy Pixie Sticks, can't you?
Think
Only
so.
in retro stores.
Yeah,
You
they're
can't go
not
to,
found in
a
7-Eleven
pharmacy
or
yeah.
No.
All right.
I don't think.
What about socks? Do you remember those? Lance remembers them.
What about Clark bars?
They
I
still
don't
make
remember
Clark bars, don't
They still make them.
Yeah.
Lance is like, what about
Yeah.
a hammer?
Pop
Down
Rocks.
the candy Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks were
Pop
good.
Rocks.
Pop Rocks were great. What was I gonna say? So I know that you sort of dismissed the working out aspect of it, but
Well, no, I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't
we'll
even
come back to
dismiss it.
that.
I just,
Okay.
I just,
where does
Come
that
back.
factor in?
so what we promote.
Only because we got a question earlier in the show. What's more important? I'm sure you get this all the time: cardio or strength training.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
so the traditional approach to lose weight is calorie restriction and cardio. And cardio
Lose weight.
to lose weight.
Right. Right.
Cardio burns a lot of calories while you're doing it, but it doesn't really increase your metabolic rate a whole lot. So as soon as it's over, your metabolic rate goes right back to normal.
Because the body's trying to become efficient.
Right. The
As
body
a
likes
machine,
efficiency.
the body's going to become efficient.
Right.
Right.
The more
Right.
you
Just-
run,
It's going
the
to learn how to
better you can
conserve
learn
fuel.
how to conserve
Right.
fuel. You're
Right.
more economical
Right.
when you run. You burn
Right.
fewer calories the longer
Yeah.
you do it.
Okay.
So with resistance training, and the other thing is, you know, if you look at somebody who's an elite level marathoner or something like that, they don't really have a whole lot of muscle mass because muscle's heavy. And if you don't need it, the body wants to get rid of it because it's easier for you to run if you're lighter. But again, muscle's the thing that drives the metabolic rate. So we recommend resistance training, hypertrophy, you know, lift like a bodybuilder. Not that you're going to get big like a bodybuilder, but break down a lot of muscle. You know, you don't burn a lot of calories during the actual workout, but the recovery from
It's
that.
the repair
You know,
process
that can last
requires
for 36 hours. You know, while
Longer.
the body is
And you're burning calories.
you're
by
burning calories,
rebuilding
well,
that
rebuilding.
muscle.
It's got to
Right.
repair.
Right.
And that requires fuel.
But the problem with that
Right.
is muscle. You can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, and your weight doesn't change.
Right.
And that's where people start getting their heads messed up.
Right.
Because they'll be getting on the scale and they'll say, you know, I've been doing this for 6 weeks and it's not working. I'm not getting any lighter. But they come in and get a DEXA scan, and they lost 5% fat. We just had a client we talked to yesterday. She lost 5%
Yeah.
fat in 6 weeks.
Yeah. It was
Really?
awesome. Yeah.
She
She
gained, what,
lost.
5
She
pounds of muscle?
gained
8
3
pounds?
pounds of muscle
And
and
lost
lost
8
like
pounds
8
of fat.
pounds of
How
fat
much
in a
did-
month.
How much did she change her diet?
She did what we told her to.
She
got
didn't
it.
really change too
No,
much.
what was her
bumped up-
calorie intake? 17, 1800,
Well,
something
she's
like
someone. She had. I don't know how much detail. We're not saying her name, but
No.
anyway, she had some thyroid issues, and so her metabolism is running really slow. So I couldn't give her too many calories because I would have ended up overfeeding her.
Right.
We basically fed her at her metabolic rate,
Right.
but balanced her macronutrients, her fat, her carbs, and her protein to fit her needs. So her protein was based on her muscle mass, and then fat was kept low as a percentage of her calories, and we filled in the rest of her calorie need from carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't really change her diet that much.
No.
Just
That's
just
amazing.
tweaking things a little
Yeah.
bit,
But
and
it's
she dropped
designed for
5%
her.
body fat.
It's designed
It
for
was
her.
designed for her, and she
If she
actually
would
was
have
able to execute
if
it.
she would have just went on the internet and plugged her numbers into some macro
Yeah.
calculator, she has a low
Low
metabolism of her
metabolism.
thyroid.
Right.
They would have overfed her.
Yeah.
She would have got fatter
Yeah.
following those online
Yeah.
calculators. And like I said, we do this with hundreds of people, and very few of them ever fall exactly where predicted as far as metabolism.
No, it's all over
They're
the place.
they're all over. You know.
all over the place.
What is the general success rate when you sit and work with a client? I mean,
It's all depends on their
It's-
compliance.
It depends on compliance, yeah, and
if they stick
mindset.
to it, they'll lose weight.
And mindset's another big part of it, because so many people go into it and just get really stressed out about being on a plan and hitting their numbers
to
and
track.
doing it right, and instead of just going, just go. Let's make some little modifications as we
Right.
move through the process. Let your body adapt.
And
But yeah.
you do have to ask people to track their food because they're
Right.
trying to hit certain number goals.
Yeah.
A lot
Right.
of people have trouble with that just
Yeah.
because
It's
they
hard.
think it's a hassle or whatever. They
hard
get
at
freaked
first.
out. You know, I'm over on my carbs. And we really just want that to be more like a teaching experience where they learn what's in their food
It helps you be
Yeah.
mindful
Yeah,
of what you're eating.
because they have no idea.
Right.
Right.
So, are there tricks or tips or something that you can sort of give us? Like, give me a good sample breakfast. I mean, I think people want a takeaway. So, give me a good breakfast that you say it's mostly comprised
Well,
of carbohydrates.
One
but
tip,
like, what's a
one
good?
tip would be eat protein at every meal and every snack.
Significant amount
Okay,
of
so
carbs.
give
Significant
me
amount
an
of
example of protein for breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner.
Okay. Steph's the dietitian.
Now.
Now. All right.
I mean, I can do it, but
Of course you can. We'll jump in. So breakfast proteins are difficult because most of them are very fatty.
It's just eggs.
Right? Eggs, right. But whole eggs have a good amount of fat in them. So if someone's going to make 3 or 4 eggs at breakfast, okay, even 2 eggs,
You would rather
you're
them do egg
getting
whites.
10 to 20 grams of fat,
Yeah.
which in the grand scheme of the whole day is a lot.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So we encourage 1 whole egg with egg whites.
Unlimited egg whites.
Yeah, pretty much.
essentially.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than you probably think
yeah,
it
it's a lot
is.
more.
Like a 3/4 to a cup of
Okay.
egg whites in general.
What about like buying the egg whites in the mix? Or is
Perfect.
That's
It's
what
already
I'd
pasteurized.
recommend,
You don't
yeah.
have to
You
cook
don't need
them.
to, like-
Super easy.
that's as good as the eggs that come?
Absolutely.
If you're lazy, you can just drink them right out of the
You
carton
can.
too.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Well, they're
absolutely
pasteurized.
true.
You can dump them in a
Pasteurized.
smoothie. You don't even taste
You
them.
don't know. You can do things like
Okay, Rocky.
cottage cheese.
I don't do that. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, I'm just
Cottage
trying
cheese. Cottage cheese is a good one.
Cottage
Greek
cheese.
yogurt.
Greek
I
yogurt.
forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not doing dairy. That's why I forgot.
Oh.
to. Sorry about that. You're right. Yogurt, Greek yogurt is great. Cottage cheese is great. You always take a gamble when you open that cottage cheese. I don't like it watery. I
So we
want
can
it
go back to
dry
eating that stuff
cottage
next week?
cheese. Dairy you can. Yeah,
Oh.
on Tuesday.
What a
I like
treat.
it dry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah.
I don't like anything
Do
too
you like
watery.
the large curd or the small curd?
I like the Friendship 1%. I think it's small curd or whatever it is, but it's got to be 1%. The pink.
Yeah.
It's the only one I like.
Mhm.
Any other brand, I don't like it. And forget it at the salad bar. I think anyone that has cottage cheese at a salad bar, like, I don't know what you're asking for there. I mean, who knows what vat that's coming from.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm off topic. Cottage cheese, yogurt, eggs, all great sources of protein.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so now you finish up breakfast. Can you have a piece of toast?
Yes.
You need carbs.
Toast, oatmeal, fruit.
Lance, this is good for you to figure out what you can...
Oatmeal, like
English
you like
muffins.
oatmeal.
English
Yeah.
muffins are good.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
They're high fiber. There's protein.
So this
in
is
them.
normally what I have for breakfast.
Okay.
When I'm like, I have egg whites
Uh-huh.
with lox, spinach, and tomato omelet,
Uh-huh.
with a toasted English muffin
Uh-huh.
and a grapefruit.
Amazing.
That sounds great.
That's amazing.
Sounds great.
Keep it up.
Balanced. It's lean.
All right, snack.
Snack is tough, but usually we encourage things like, again, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt,
Bars.
bars, tuna packets, you know, like the
Yep.
tuna or
Yeah.
salmon packets. They're good.
We eat tuna packets and pretzels.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretzels?
Yeah.
You need
You need
carbohydrate to fuel you. Let the protein support your muscle mass and let the carbohydrate be your energy source.
You don't
Okay.
want
That's
to
why
burn
you
your
want to pair it.
protein.
Nope.
Okay. Would it be bad if you just had the protein?
It's not ideal
It's not ideal.
because people like Lance said. People, if you avoid carbs throughout the day,
You get a sugar craving.
you start craving it.
sugar.
and it kicks your hunger in too.
Yeah.
Right. And then
So
you go for
what do you think
bad
of
sugar.
pretzel M&Ms? Aren't they like God's gift?
I've never had a pretzel.
They're
M&M.
good.
You've never had a pretzel
They're really
M&M?
good.
No, but I like chocolate covered pretzels. And I
my
like
You've
M&Ms.
never had a
Yeah.
pretzel
Yeah.
M&M?
I never did
They're
either.
Do yourself a favor. It is seriously one of the best tasting.
All right.
Forget about everything else.
They're good.
It's one of the best
We'll go get some
tasting
right now.
foods
That's
around.
And you'll eat them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
You guys.
Yeah.
Okay, lunch.
We'll take a picture and send it to you.
Do that. We'll take a picture of our emaciated bodies. Like,
Wait, yeah, because they can't eat them.
Actually,
lunch.
Jenny, you want to reset? Just
yeah, we're talking to Todd Miller and Stephanie Mull. These guys work at right outside DC. What's the name of your?
We're at the Weight Management and Human Performance Lab at George Washington University.
They have a great show every Monday called The Miller Method, and from 12 to 1 on Facebook Live, and they basically answer all your weight loss questions. Like, we're just scratching the surface. They really get into it. If you have any weight loss,
Yeah.
diet, fitness questions, these guys know everything, literally top to bottom, soup to nuts. So,
And just to calm John, because he asked a question.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit off topic, but since we're off topic, like for a second,
bring it on.
you worked with the space shuttle, the people
Oh, yeah, I
from,
was
and he
involved.
wanted to know what that was like.
So when I was doing my PhD, I studied
PhD dropper. Sorry.
I studied muscle adaptations to microgravity and how muscle atrophies in space and how to prevent that. And I was part of an experiment that flew on the Columbia shuttle, the one that blew up. So
Way to
we had
go.
a bunch of rats on the shuttle. So that sort of ended my space research.
Wow, that's fascinating. I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
Really interesting. How did John know that?
Yeah.
Oh,
How did John know? Who's John?
we have a lot
My
of super
stalker.
fans.
John
Super
is
fans.
John is our Siri.
Oh,
You know, he's
okay.
like
So
Siri.
he
you ask
Googles
any
everybody who
yes,
comes on.
He watches
He's like, yeah, so we have
Google
John-
everything and anything.
John is saying it's in your bio on the
Yeah.
website.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so we have people like, yeah, Jenna and I, and we rely a lot on,
That's
you know,
cool.
having our audience
Yeah.
involved.
John's your fact checker.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
John and Darren, yeah, there's a whole bunch.
It's good.
Nice.
Every day. All right, so that's good. And then you'll have yourself some carbohydrates tonight. What about dessert?
Dessert.
Lately, we've been on this baklava.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, you
from
guys
Dubai.
really do eat anything.
But that
Dubai.
stuff,
It's
yeah. So,
so
our
good.
lab tech, our X-ray tech, is from Lebanon, and he just got back from Dubai, and he brought all this.
He brought this pastry box.
Yeah, it's like a kit,
And, like, you just open
and
it
it's got
up.
all kinds of stuff in there,
Oh.
and it was like I think they're 170 calories a piece.
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't see the nutrition information at first, and then we started asking about it. I started looking for it, and that just well, I'm still eating it.
In moderation.
We're still
I'm still
all in-
eating
all
it.
in
we just cut from
moderation.
3 pieces to 1
Yeah,
after
gotta
lunch.
cut it back a little bit.
Wow.
No, but every day after lunch we
Dark chocolate.
peanut butter cups. Every day, 2 peanut butter. Those mini ones.
Yeah.
You only
The
need
dark-
2
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
take the edge off. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, it's it goes against everything I stand for. Literally, it's like a Seinfeld episode. If everything you know is wrong, then the opposite would
Right,
have to be
right.
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 Every day I have tuna,
Bizarro
and then
world.
so today
Salmon,
I'm
right?
gonna have
Salmon.
Why? The salmon
Salmon's
swim
swim
upstream.
upstream.
The tuna's oh,
Yeah.
good for the tuna. But there's something to it. There is something
Well,
to
it works. You know, so.
because you see the science behind it.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of science behind it, but then again, it's changing your mindset for how you're approaching your eating habits and your
Right.
training.
Because there are people who will they're on a diet, they eat a cupcake, and they're like, the hell
I'm
with
done.
it. I'm done. I've ruined my diet.
I've ruined it.
So now they
I'll start
now
again
they
next
eat
week.
8 cupcakes, and the next day they feel so bad.
Well, yeah,
they eat 8
even your diet. I mean, like the diet that I lost, I
Yeah.
lost 40 pounds on her diet, and you said like no carbs after 6 o'clock at night.
I said no carbs
So
after 6
I would
just
have
because that's when you do your most damage.
right,
So
like
I said
that's
cut
where I
out the
came
worst
up with this
time.
like eating the English muffin was like
Yeah.
English muffin for lunch, and I always had the pretzel M&Ms for snack.
Right.
So, but what we're telling people is that, you know, if you have 200 grams of carbs and at the end of the night you've only eaten 150, eat the cupcake. You're still in your range.
You're in your
Yeah.
You're not over
calorie
your
level.
calories. It's not going to affect your progress.
And there's no
one bit.
guilt with that.
And there's no guilt.
Yeah.
So
Because
now they
it's
can have a
worked in.
cupcake without feeling bad about it. And that's
Right.
really that I
That's
think
the
is one of the
key.
best things about
Right.
what we do is that
Right.
it removes the guilt that people associate with food.
Yeah, we've seen so many people who had negative, poor relationships with food
Yeah.
be liberalized by.
Yeah, totally liberated because
Yeah,
now
that's
they're
the word
like,
I was looking for.
they're not
Liberated.
It's what I love about you guys. You walk into your lab and you're so one-on-one and you're so right there, and every plan you put together for people is catered right towards that person and everything that's going on inside their body,
And their
workout-wise
life,
and
yeah.
diet-wise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if somebody tells us, look, I absolutely hate this and I'm not going to eat this stuff. I mean, I know people that will say, well, then you don't really want to lose weight if you don't want to eat it. You know, that's
No,
it's so
it's not.
unrealistic.
That's
you
not
know?
realistic.
It's not how you treat people. You know, you have to meet people where they're at
Right.
and design things that are going to fit within their life, or it's not
Right.
going to be it's not going to be successful.
Right. Yeah, we try to help them implement these changes.
So
Much
anyone
easier.
can, if they're in the DC area, they
Or
can
not.
come
Or
into-
not.
We have
We
clients
work
all
with
over the
remote
world,
people.
actually.
Mhm.
So if you want to work with us,
Yeah,
we'll
how do you get in touch
we'll
with you?
find a place. Just go to Miller Method on the Facebook page and just email us or message us through there. We will find a place for you to get tested in wherever you are. We've never been able to not find success.
Yeah.
Todd at millermethod.com.
Todd at millermethod.com.
Yeah, John's putting your
John.
info. John's got all your info up here.
John. Yep,
But
thanks,
yeah,
John.
then they send those labs will send us the results.
And you can still put
we
something together.
Skype them with people. We get on the phone with people. We have clients all over the world.
Listen, there's no reason not to do this. If weight loss is something you want to do, if you want to change the way you eat, if you're tired of the dieting, I don't ever talk or promote anything that I don't absolutely love. And these guys are fantastic. I went through their program. It was great. They know what they're doing. They get it completely. They're so gentle and yet, sort of. They're just smart. You guys are just really smart people. I had a really good experience with you. So again, you can go to the Miller Method on Facebook.
Right.
Reach out to you. You don't have to be in the DC area. You
No.
can.
No.
They'll sit and talk with you and Skype with you.
No,
and
you can also go to the George Washington University webpage and just look up Weight Management Lab, or just Google my name on GW's website. You'll find me there too. So it's really easy to find us.
Perfect. Do it, guys. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I love. Oh, and every Monday at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, every Monday at 12 we do a live Facebook stream.
Will you
where we-
answer questions?
Yeah, we answer questions and we talk
about
about
a
some topic, and throughout the course of our day, something will come up, and we'll say, hey, this would be a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So we do it
Yeah.
it's very much like this, spur of the moment.
Yeah.
I love the show. The only thing missing is what Lance and I have, which is like Barney's Bickersworth, where we like argue a lot. But it's
Do you
not my
guys
show.
Periscope it, or is it just
No,
on
it's
Facebook
just
Live?
Gotcha. You should think about it. You should be talking to Lance
So we need
afterwards.
two.
We
We
need
need two
multiple.
devices. I have a device at home I could do.
I
You each have a
my
phone.
Yeah, we can do that.
You should. This guy could.
All right.
Okay.
in a very
I have a Periscope
fantastic
account.
way.
I
You
think I
should do
used
it.
it once.
It's a waste of a vehicle. You might as well do it.
Might as well do it.
Yeah, right, Lance?
Economies of scale.
Whatever that means. Sounds
No,
like
no,
it's
like
worth it.
I mean, like you're putting one show on,
Might
and
as
then
well.
just might have 3 cameras.
Right.
Might as well have 10 cameras. We're going to have like 20 cameras here eventually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have the YouTube live feed going.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook, all of it.
Nice.
And no one's doing it. You guys should move
But
forward.
you
and do
are.
it. Yeah, you
We're gonna
guys
do
are
it.
too.
I mean, there's no equipment.
Nothing, no.
It's
Yeah.
so simple.
Simple. And this is where everyone's
Simple.
watching.
It is.
Um,
we like simple.
Well, you're more than welcome to stick around if you have any sexual questions, because coming up next is Jasmine Loeb. She is the sex therapist, the sex columnist for the New York Observer.
Nice.
Basically, did you ever see Sex in the City?
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah Jessica Parker, she had this job. Jasmine does the job in real life, her
Okay.
actual character's job. And last week we talked about, what did we talk about, Jasmine? What was the word?
It was like milking a cow or something.
Yep. Jasmine threw us off for
Or
a
a
loop.
cowgirl. John remembered.
The C word and the P word, and you just,
word, and Lance came up with a word, and
yeah, we talked
lots
about
of words being thrown
lots of sex. We talked about. Felt good all over, even on the inside and the outside.
Nice.
You guys were incredible. Please get in touch with them. They are so
Get in touch
incredibly
with us.
helpful. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for
Hey,
coming up.
thank you.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. You guys are the best. We're gonna take a break. Come back with Jasmine.
All right, let me take a picture of you guys.
It does get sweaty, like sitting there.
This is not. This is actually super cool. Like at 11 when we start. It's really. But
Camera's live, by the way.